Terminal activated. Accessing timeline branch archive. File classification. Extreme biological and tactical threat. Subject Pygorus ballistus. The following is a reality breach simulation. All data is highly classified. Disclaimer. This archive documents a fictional entity inspired by the video game Lethal Company by Zeekerss, translated into a real-world scenario created for speculative analysis. All rights belong to their respective owners. The human body is an engine designed for constant motion, breathing, blinking, the beating of our hearts. But what if the slightest micro-movement was the only thing separating you from immediate execution? To understand the entity colloquially known as the Nutcracker, we must eliminate the supernatural. It is not a possessed wooden statue. It is an inorganic parasite, designated Pygorus ballistus, a massive terrestrial hermit crab. Instead of seashells, this parasite hijacks hollow inanimate objects, mannequins, military armor, or wooden statues. It uses them as a protective exoskeleton, turning our own creations into its camouflage. Unlike most predators, it possesses a highly evolved optical flow perception. Its single biological eye processes only vector changes in spatial pixels. If an object is completely stationary, it is invisible to the creature. Furthermore, the parasite has adapted to use human weaponry. Its claws have evolved dense muscle tendons, capable of withstanding heavy recoil and operating a pump-action shotgun with flawless ballistic precision. Month 1. The Siege. A severe blizzard hits a metropolitan city, forcing a full lockdown. Deep inside the subterranean vault of the National Military Museum, 3 infantry staff are trapped. They are cataloging a recent shipment of war relics and antique wooden guards from Eastern Europe. The backup generators hum quietly. Suddenly, the heavy sound of splintering wood echoes from the back of the vault. One of the transport crates has been destroyed from the inside. From the shadows, the rhythmic, heavy clanking of wooden footsteps approaches, and then, the unmistakable sound of a shotgun being racked. A tall wooden guard steps into the dim emergency light. The top of its head violently springs open, exposing a massive, pulsating biological eye. It rapidly scans the room across all angles. Panic overtakes one of the staff members. He drops his clipboard and sprints toward the exit door. The creature's eye instantly locks onto the vector of his movement. A deafening gunshot rings out. The staff member is obliterated instantly. The 2 remaining survivors are paralyzed by sheer terror. They stand completely rigid as the creature's eye sweeps directly over them. The parasite looks right at them, but it does not fire. In its optical flow processor, the stationary humans are just more statues. They realize the absolute rule: motion equals death. The arena is set. The heavy steel blast doors have sealed them in. The only way out is a manual override lever 30 meters across the vault. The entity begins to patrol the aisles, acting as an autonomous sniper. The survivors must play a lethal game of red light, green light. They can only move when the creature is walking and its eye is hidden. The moment the wooden footsteps stop, they must freeze completely. 20 meters left. The physical torture begins. It is not just about standing still. It is about suppressing involuntary reflexes. The urge to swallow. The urge to cough. The natural tremor of exhausted muscles. The entity stops abruptly. The head pops up. The survivors freeze in unnatural, awkward positions. A drop of cold sweat rolls down a survivor's forehead, stinging his eye. He must endure the burning pain without blinking. Lactic acid builds up in their calves and thighs. The agony of immobility is excruciating. The creature's eye stares directly at them. In the parasite's brain, they are indistinguishable from the concrete pillars. 10 meters left. The creature's patrol route brings it dangerously close. It stops just inches away from the second staff member. The smell of rotting crustacean flesh and burnt gunpowder fills the air. The suspense is suffocating. The staff member's breathing becomes ragged. His body demands oxygen, but his chest cannot expand. The psychological pressure finally breaks his physical limits. His knee uncontrollably spasms. It is a micro-movement, barely a millimeter. But for the highly evolved optical flow sensor, it is a glaring red flare in the dark. The eye snaps down, the shotgun fires at point-blank range, deafening the vault. The blast knocks the final survivor to the floor, breaking his frozen stance. The creature immediately racks the pump action, preparing to eliminate the final target. But the survivor remembers the mechanical flaw of the parasite's stolen weapon. The entity requires exactly 2.4 seconds to chamber a new round. In that tiny window of time, the survivor scrambles across the blood-slicked floor and pulls the heavy manual override lever. The blast doors grind open just enough. He dives through the gap into the corridor. A third shotgun blast shreds the steel door right where his head had been a fraction of a second before. He is safe, for now. Pygorus ballistis is a testament to the horrors of biological adaptation. It turned our own statues into impenetrable armor and our weapons into its hunting tools. It is the ultimate autonomous executioner, a creature that transformed the very act of living moving in to a fatal error. If you ever find yourself in an abandoned museum and you hear the heavy clank of wood followed by the racking of a shotgun shell, do not run, calm your heart. And whatever you do, freeze. End of archive.